It's been a pretty light movie year. The indie movies aren't really indieing for me. Some of the big blockbusters are actually some of my favorite movies of the year so far. It's starting to heat up in late July here, and the start of August is upon us. But let's do a quick little overview of the movies I have seen this year. What are my favorite 10 movies of the year so far as of recording? I am recording on the 1st of August, so the only movie that I haven't seen that's coming out shortly that I really want to see is Weapons. I do think Zach Cregger's movie is going to make this list, but it's not out yet. So let's just get straight into it. Let's go straight to number 10.
With the police squad.
As I said previously, this year is really starting to heat up. Akiva from The Lonely Island is really at the top of his game here. The Naked Gun reboot starring Liam Neeson is the comedy of the year. I always struggle to speak about comedies because what am I supposed to say? Oh, it made me laugh a bunch. Haha, funny movie, right? So let's give it a try here. This film does not go 30 seconds without a golden gag. And the only reason these gags work is because the deliveries by the main two leads, Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson. Liam Neeson truly delivers every line like it's Taken or something. I gotta respect how much he just meshed with the material. Pamela Anderson is also firing on every cylinder, and I have to highlight her little scat moment. Also, thumbs up for the Sex and the City reference. That was for me. Yeah, go see this one with the crowd. A great little buzzer beater add to my list. I went to the premiere of this movie back in January and I still remember it. I know that doesn't sound like a strong statement. I usually forget movies by July though. Like I honestly don't remember going to see a lot of movies that I watched in January. Just being honest here. Together really did stick with me though, all these months that have elapsed. Once I started to see the trailers pop up, I would always point out to the person next to me or whoever I was seeing the movie with, like, hey, it's a really good movie by the way, you should see it. Together is a neon horror movie featuring Dave Franco, Alison Brie, who are real life couples. The film is about a couple that moves away from New York City into the worst thing known to mankind, the suburbs. Slowly they start to realize they can't separate from each other. It becomes a great commentary on codependency, literally, the problems of a long-term relationship. I personally really love movies that tackle relationship aspects and the struggles of keeping a relationship. That description usually brings me back to movies like The Lobster. So I am glad I now have a horror movie that fits that bill. A body horror movie as well. One of the scenes that sticks out to me the most is the shower scene. Also, shout out to the guy at the premiere that asked if they used an intimacy coordinator. Like my brother in Christ, they're like a real life couple. I sat like a few seats away from him too, so this movie's always gonna have some sort of connection to me. I'm always gonna remember this experience that I had. I've always been a hesitant fan of Mike Flanagan. For some reason, I really enjoyed Hush, but I haven't been able to get into any of his like TV stuff on Netflix or any of his other films. I'm not a huge Dr. Sleep fan. The TV shows have always felt a little tame and they're just not really my style. This film was getting so much buzz in the film festival circuits, yet I haven't really heard anyone talk about this movie since it released. Would I be going that far calling this a movie that reaffirms how beautiful life is? How even through its fragility it carries so much meaning and how we have such an effect on the people surrounding our life. I don't really know how to describe this movie, but it's in 3 acts and it plays in reverse. For me, the reason why I think they do that is because I think they're trying to show that even if you know the ending or you know the death, it's still all impactful. Doing the journey is just as important as the destination. The most impactful scene to me is when Chuck Krantz, played by Tom Hiddleston, just starts to dance. We don't realize at the time why he did it or who he thought about as he was dancing, but it makes you realize how much beauty there is from day to day, what we can experience on this spinning sphere. Excellent movie, brilliantly crafted by Mike Flanagan. I'm maybe back on the horse here. On another note, let's just talk about a movie that kicks ass. If you have a good relationship with your father, you are obligated to invite him to when you saw this movie. Like, come on, how could you watch this without your dad? What's better than this? A super expensive movie about racing. You know the typical valleys and peaks you're gonna experience, but it doesn't matter. It's still a fantastic story about redemption, and it talks about stuff like old dog teaching the new pup some old tricks. You get the usual arcs like passing the torch and whatnot, but honestly, I just had such a great time. I do think the romance elements work really well here as well. It's just a fun ride. Watching this in the Dolby was a great experience. It wasn't the same experience as watching Top Gun Maverick or anything, but I mean, it's in the same ballpark.
I'm turning 48 and I think I need to meet someone more grown.
I have no idea why I am so alone in loving this movie, and I will remain unapologetic about loving this movie. Celine's song stole my heart with Past Lives, and Materialist is in the same boat for me. Materialist is about a matchmaker played by Dakota Johnson who is finally in a good movie. It took her long enough. Her character has to decide between a unicorn played by Pedro Pascal, who has everything, and the struggling New York actor played by Chris Evans, whom they have a history with. Materialist feels like a version update on dating. This just how it be now, man. As my coworker recently just coined it to me, being cuffed before this dating landscape feels like catching the last helicopter out of Vietnam, and this film backs that up pretty well, I'd say. There are about 20 different perspectives you can analyze here, but the one I'll always approach the most is love being a transaction. Love is a commodity in the modern dating landscape. It's all about checking certain boxes. What do you weigh? What is your height? What is your race? Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? Are you religious? What are your views? I really want to rewatch this film because when I was watching the third act, I kind of just felt like it was going to end any second, and it kept going. I'm not going to say it checked me out of the film, but it kind of checked me out of like the overall thesis of the movie, of what it was trying to get across. Regardless, don't listen to the noise. This was a great experience, and it was an emotional experience.
7, 6, 11, 5.
28 years later was truly an unconventional blockbuster. Look, I'm a simple man. I saw Danny Boyle and Alex Garland were working together again. I was there. I was truly shocked at how emotional this movie was and how much it's about grief. The world they created became so rich so quickly. It kind of feels like an allegory for COVID or something, about how these new kids are growing up in a generation that the parents have never seen before. Ralph Fiennes just kind of steals the show as soon as he gets into this movie though. The main scene of him tackling grief with the mother is honestly just one of the most emotional scenes I've seen of the year. And I truly wasn't expecting it. I felt like I just blinked and then I was just like bawling with tears at this horror movie full of zombies. I really need to rewatch this movie. It felt like a lot to capture on the first go around, and there's a lot of unique and fresh things they did to this movie that I don't see in other movies, especially in the editing. Also, what the hell is that ending with Jack O'Connell, man? Alex Garland's crazy, man. Seems like blockbusters and superhero movies are back on the agenda here, man. Kind of enjoying these recent superhero movies that have been coming out. I was always a big fan of Fantastic Four growing up. I always watched those movies with Chris Evans in it, man. It's like those and like those old like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies I really loved. What feels so different this time around is how much they really dug into the whole, this has to feel different than the other movies. And it really benefits from not being connected to any of the other movies. You can just be dropped in this movie without any previous knowledge. I love the whole vibe they curate with the whole futuristic 50s thing. It's kind of a play of the whole like nuclear family thing, but this family runs New York City essentially, you know? Like they're the protectors of the city. Kind of something that you get in Spider-Man, where you feel like that he embodies like everyone in the city, and that like the city backs him, but it can also be against him. They really play into that aspect a lot in this movie, especially when the city turns on them. You really start to feel for the characters, because Galactus is asking for something pretty huge. You know, if you view it strictly in a utilitarian way, like, of course you're like, oh, this is an easy decision, but would you do it? Would you give up your child? Which is why I feel like at the core of this movie, it's way different than any other Marvel movie I've seen in recent time. Focusing on Sue Storm instead of her just kind of being there like Jessica Alba's character back in the day just adds a lot more heart to this movie. And Vanessa Kirby is a fantastic actress. She's been doing it for a long time now. I do think Pedro plays a pretty good Reed Richards, but honestly The Thing and Johnny Storm weren't the greatest in this movie, but that's okay. All the family aspects still worked with me. This definitely feels like the right stepping stone Marvel needs to take. Maybe we just kind of needed a 5-year burnout period where we just kind of stopped caring about superhero stuff altogether.
You know, people say, just be yourself. Like, what version of me?
Another film that I watched all the way back in January, and I'm going to tell you right now, I was so tired when I was watching this movie. It was a midnight premiere on, I think, the first night. I was pretty much fresh off the flight off of my second film of the day. So I think this movie is a lot better than I remember it, honestly, and I already have it this high on the list. Twinless is that movie where you saw Dylan O'Brien in those leaked pictures. I promise the movie is worth more than those little clips that were going around on Twitter. This was one of the funniest movies I ever done seen, man. Oh my god. But it's a lot more potent than something like Naked Gun. Twinless is about a guy that loses his boyfriend, who is a twin, in a car crash, and then joins a group for people that lost their twins. He did not lose his twin, but he fakes it so he can talk to his old boyfriend. You know, the twin. A little complicated, I promise it's really easy to understand once you're watching it. It tackles identity, grief, trauma, loneliness, and more. I love a morally ambiguous character because he keeps pushing the boundaries constantly, and as an audience member, you're like, man, I understand what he's going through, but my god, dude, simmer down. There are so many moments of cringe where you truly want to look away, where you're just like, dude, like, I just want him to be caught already. I would be shocked if he's not one of the bigger names to emerge in the next few years. James Sweeney, remember that name. It's literally my last video. I'll talk about Superman really briefly here. James Gunn kills it. Superman being a whimsical lover boy is such a positive for the character now. The bastardization from Snyder versus what Gunn did here, man, it's night and day. I will say they're never gonna make Robert Pattinson join this world. Like, it's so much brighter here. I could never imagine them together. But yeah, Nicholas Holt's a great Lex Luthor. All the characters are really well fleshed out. I got really like no problems with this Superman movie, man. It's excellent. Just kindness rushing through my veins after I watched it. I have a video out about Sinners, but honestly, I just really love talking about this movie, man. I kind of bounced around between putting this or Superman at 1, but I think Sinners has to be 1 still. If you want to give it the edge in anything, it's just original. You know, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. I still can't think of a scene that's brought me to tears in such a simple way than that evolution of black music scene. The whole movie is an allegory for other cultures trying to steal black excellence, and that scene just captures that through all the pain that they have endured, it can never be stolen, only replicated. Truly a career best from Ryan Coogler, who's truly never missed since he's entered filmmaking. Like, come on, from Fruitvale Station to Creed to even his Black Panther movies, he's just never missed. This is also going to probably be known as Jack O'Connell's major breakout role, and that's going to be good for the landscape of cinema. He's awesome. Sinners just feels like an ultimate celebration of black culture, and Michael B. Jordan mowing down the KKK in IMAX with everyone cheering is one of the most euphoric feelings I have ever felt while watching a movie, period. It's the movie I'm rooting for to take some Oscars home. I got really no other movie to like super root for. I don't think like Superman's gonna win any Oscars of note. But that's the list. There's a lot of good movies coming out in the second half of this year that I think will probably enter my final top 10 list. Last year, if I remember, after I made this type of video, like almost like 80% of the movies like wiped off. It's ramping up, folks. We're gonna be watching a lot of movies coming soon. Probably means a lot more reviews coming out week to week too. I hope y'all like the new setup. I need to probably get a better background at this point, but I'm still workshopping everything. I'll see y'all later.